Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaki and today I'm going to be giving you my full bookshelf tour of 2019. Have done a bookshelf tour before. I've done one before, I believe, last year, so I will link that up above if you would like to go and watch it. A few things have changed since I did that bookshelf tour. I now have two bookshelves and they are quite full. I recently did an unhaul, which I'm probably regretting now because my bookshelves don't look as full. I recently just did an unhaul, so if some shelves looking a little bit, you know, bare, that's because there were books there but I've unhauled them, so you'll be finding them out in my unhaul, my next unhaul. I evidently have a lot more books this time around than the last time that I gave you a bookshelf tour, which is why I decided to give you another one so I can show off all of my lovely purchases since then. Without further ado, let's get into the bookshelf tour. Hello and welcome to shelf number one. Actually, not shelf number one, it is the top shelf we are doing first. So as you can see on this top shelf, I do have a lot of candles, so I thought I would show them to you. The first candle is in a set with the rest of them that is up there. This one is Love Hearts. My boyfriend got this for me for the first Christmas that we were together, and they're basically just scented candles and the sweets. The other two are Drumstick and also Refreshers. I have a Yankee candle which my Secret Santa Mia got me the first year that I did Secret Santa. I think it was December 2018, I'm pretty sure. Some other items that I have on this top shelf include this Wishbone box, which has a very nice message in it. I believe my mum got it for me. It says a lucky wishbone, and it just has my lucky wishbone in there, a necklace I believe that my nan bought for me when she died, and a golf ball of my granddad's when he also died, so I keep those in this box here. The last thing on this top shelf is my deck of tarot cards. They're very simple, they're very beginners ones, but they are up there with my candles for them to be charged. Is that a thing? I don't know, but I kept them up with my candles and my grandparents' things so that they could just be used to their full potential, I guess. And then we come on to this shelf, which is technically my first shelf. As you can see, I have quite a lot on here. I think we'll start with the most prominent thing on this shelf, which is this camera bauble that I got last Christmas for myself. Obviously I wasn't going to stick on any Christmas tree anytime soon, but I got myself a little camera bauble because I'm sad. The next thing I'm going to show on this shelf is this Buddha. I'm not really a Buddhist, but I thought he was quite cute, and you can rub his belly for good luck. I also have these two tiny kind of key rings that I won both in arcades of Spider-Man and Baymax. Now I don't think a lot of people know what these are, but I work in a bar and these are my bar blades that I keep on the top shelf. I always forget where they are, so I try to just keep them on here, but then I forgot that they're both on here, so I now have two. Next we have this giraffe, which reminds me of The Last of Us. I don't know why I bought it, probably for that reason. We have Mr. Kermiwin, which is a Jenna Marbles plushie, and then we also have Mr. Marbles, which is also a Jenna Marbles plushie. The final aspect of this shelf, and by far the most obnoxious, is the huge red subscribe pillow that Waverley got for me, I think a few Christmases ago. Next is my second shelf. Now on this shelf we have a little bit of a dystopian theme going on, because obviously we have some really big dystopian series on this shelf. I think we'll start every single shelf with the like knickknacks I have on it, just so we don't get a bit confused. The first lot of knickknacks that I have on my shelves are normally pop vinyls, so I'm going to show you all my pop vinyls that I got on my shelves. The first one is Negasonic Teenage Warhead from the X-Men and Deadpool. Then we have Artemis from Ready Player One, as she was stood in front of the Ready Player One book. And then the last Funko Pop that I have on the shelf is Rey from Star Wars. She has a bobblehead, she's amazing, and again she is totally badass. I have two Sum Sums on here, one of them being Sven from Frozen, and also Iron Man. Now let's move on to the books. The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight and the Assassin's Blade, all by Sarah J Maas, This Mortal Coil and This Mortal Design by Emily Savada, Warcross, Legend, Prodigy and Champion, all by Marie Lu, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire and Mockingjay, all by Suzanne Collins, Challenger Deep, Dry, Scythe and Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman, and Dryas also by his son Jared Schusterman as well. Next shelf down is kind of a mixture of retellings and series and a little bit more like magical dystopian kind of novels. Again, we'll start with the knickknacks that I've got on here. We have 2 pop vinyls on here as well. We have Merida from Brave, and we have Wonder Woman, or Diana Prince from, you guessed it, Wonder Woman. Speaking of Wonder Woman, I do have this little duck model of her, and 2 sums of Aladdin and the Genie. Now let's get on to the books. One of the books that don't really fit on this shelf is this one. I had really no idea where else to put it. It's basically a novel of Deadpool by Stefan Petruka. I'm really excited for this one. I never really got round to it, but maybe this month I will. First of all, we have Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart, Tarot for Beginners by Lisa Chamberlain, The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw, Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, Ink by Alice Broadway, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, Ace of Shades and Daughter of the Burning City, both by Amanda Foody, Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter, Renegades and Arch Enemies, all by Marissa Meyer, Wonder Woman Warbringer, Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, all by Lee Bardugo, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and Catwoman Soul Stealer, all by Sarah J Maas, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, The Song of Achilles and Circe, both by Madeline Miller, and last but not least, A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. This next shelf consists of 2 of my favourite authors and my collection of their work, Holly Bourne and John Green. First of all, we'll start off with the knickknacks again. We have 2 Funko Pops of Deadpool. We have this normal standing up one, and we also have this lying down pose one. I also still have these chattering teeth for some reason, and obviously you can see my light box just right there. Now let's get into the books. Are We All Lemmings and Snowflakes? And A Happy New Year. How Hard Can Love Be? Am I Normal Yet? And What's a Girl Gotta Do? The Manifesto on How to Be Interesting. Soulmates. It Only Happens in the Movie. And How Do You Like Me Now? 4 copies of Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines, which I'm currently rereading, Will Grayson, also featuring David Leatherton, Paper Towns, Let It Snow featuring Maureen Johnson and Lauren Miracle, The Fault in Our Stars, and Turtles All the Way Down. This next shelf is literally just full of contemporaries. We have some LGBTQ plus books from my favourite authors. We have just some mismatch. We have loads of mental health books on here as well. So I'm just going to go through them and see what I've got. First of all is knickknacks. I have this Christmas edition of Minnie Mouse, Sum Sum. I don't actually know why I still have this. And I also have an Abu Sum Sum from Alan as well. In terms of pop vinyls / Funko Pops, I have Andrew from Big Mouth, as well as the Hormone Monster as well. And then lastly, for pop vinyls on this shelf is Russell from Up. Now onto the books. Holding Up the Universe and All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh, Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider, I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, Deck of Hearts and Other Parts by Elsie Rosen, Under Rose Tainted Skies by Louise Gornall, Georgia Peaches and Other Forbidden Fruit by J. Robin Brown, Ketchup Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, The Sun Is Also a Star and Everything Everything, both by Nicola Yoon, Eleanor and Park and Fangirl, both by Rainbow Rowell, Who Runs the World by Virginia Burgin, Moxie by Jennifer Matthews, The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed, The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson, If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, They Both Die at the End and They Both Die at the End and More Happy Than Not, both by Adam Silvera, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, and The Upside of Unrequited, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, Leon the Offbeat, all by Becky Albertalli. Now we are moving on to my other mixed match shelf that I have. I have some classics, I have some middle grade, and I also have some historical fiction as well. Let's start off with the Funko Pops I have on this shelf. I have Shrek. I also have Sonic the Hedgehog, who has lost a leg. We have some classic Sum Sums, including is it the White Rabbit? I was gonna say Cheshire Cat, it's the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, and Dumbo from, you guessed it, Dumbo. Now let's move on to the books. Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dewar, The Boy in Striped Pajamas by John Boyne, The Book Thief by Marcus Souza, Sack, The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Herman's Gowor, and Old Baggage by Lisa Evans. So those are all of the kind of historical fiction books that I own. I don't own many of them because I don't enjoy them that much. And now we'll move on to middle grade. The Lottie Project, The Diamond Girls and The Illustrated Mum by Jacqueline Wilson, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, both by Roald Dahl, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon, George by Alex Gino, Grief is the Thing with Fellas by Max Porter, The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, Matilda by Roald Dahl, and A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. We're now coming to an end of my first bookshelf and we're going to end with some classics. First of all, we have A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. These are definitely not classics, but these are two like short story and poem anthologies that I'm in. Bram Stoker's Dracula, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, The Colour Purple by Alice Walker, Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, Inspector Calls and Other Plays by J.B. Priestley, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. On to the second bookcase that I have. I'm not going to get them all down, but on top I do have a huge picture of Adam Lambert that's framed. I have a light up LED pineapple. I have a Wonder Woman cup that has loads of lightbox letters and just whiteboard pens I think in there, and then like an award from my school days. If we go this way slightly and down, I have a scythe because I'm trash. Now for the very top shelf of books. On here I have contemporary. Now that can be normal contemporary that's very cheesy and just has no other substance but romance. We also have some contemporary on here that is revolutionary, such as mental health, sexuality and race. And I love this shelf so much, it's one of my favourites. First of all, we'll start with knickknacks. This is a pop vinyl that I have of Jasmine from Aladdin. This is a pop vinyl I have of Serena van der Woodsen from Gossip Girl. This is an S Made of Roses ornament that my boyfriend's family got me for Christmas. In the S, I do keep this End Mental Health Stigma badge, which I got from Wish, I believe. Some more buttons and pins and badges. I have this I Welcome Refugees badge and also Justice Human Rights badge. Now onto the books. American Street by Ibiza Boy, The Bells and the Everlasting Rose, both by Donielle Clayton, The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, Dear Martin and Odd One Out, both by Nick Stone, A Bride to Fear by Kerry Drury, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo Lodge, The Hate You Give and On the Come Up, both by Angie Thomas, The Women's Room by Marilyn French, The Astonishing Colour of After by Emily X.R. Pan, Bear Town by Frederick Backman, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, Unspeakable by Abby Rushton, by Robin Talley, Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini, What I Lost by Alexandra Ballard, The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, Little Lion by Brandy Colbert, Autobiography by Christina Lauren, and last but not least, To All the Boys I Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever Laura Jean, all by Jenny Han. Now down onto the next shelf, which is basically all my series. So we have Harry Potter, Shadowhunters and Twilight all on here. I do have some other ones on the next shelf, but they're ones that I don't have complete series of. I know that I don't have complete series of Harry Potter, but I thought I'd just put it up here with all the rest of them. But yeah, so let's go through all of my series that I own. So if we come to knickknacks first, I have two of the miniature pop vinyls of Harry and Hermione, obviously from Harry Potter. Bigger pop vinyl wise, I have this one of the Fawn, and then also from Pan's Labyrinth is this Funko Pop of the Pale Man. This one of Guillermo del Toro from the director's range of Funko Pops. Two copies of The Philosopher's Stone and one copy of The Chamber of Secrets, all by J.K. Rowling. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire, Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess, Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness, and The Bane Chronicles, all by Cassandra Clare. I also forgot that I own extra copies of City of Bones and City of Ashes, Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and The Second Short Life of Brie Hannah, all by Stephanie Meyer. Now onto the next shelf down. Now this is the shelf that I was talking about that has all of the incomplete series that I own. In terms of knickknacks on this shelf, I have a Buzz Lightyear Funko Pop, a little Porg from Star Wars, I have a Mad Hatter Sum Sum, and I also have two Harry Potter ones on this shelf. I have the one that belongs to Ginny Weasley, and then I also have the ones that belongs to Sirius Black. Now onto the books. First up is a book that just helps me learn a bit more about horoscopes. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, Death and the Seaside by Alison Moore, Into the Water, and The Girl on the Train, both by Paula Hawkins, Method by Shannon Kirk, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Nest by Terry Goodkind, I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Law, All Rights Reserved by Gregory Scott Katsalewis, Illumine and Gemina, both by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman, Under My Skin and Hollow Pike by James Dawson, The Humans by Matt Haig, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, Unravel Me, both by Tahara Mafi, and finally Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This is the final shelf. This just basically has an abundance of books on, kind of like YouTuber books that are both fiction, and we also have some YouTuber autobiographies and some just non-fiction books that they've written. We have some autobiographies and memoirs in general, and then we have some like celebrity fiction, but not celebrity fiction because they're fake. And then we have just some random ass fan culture related, but also just contemporaries on the end there, because I have so many contemporaries, it's actually unreal. As knickknacks go, on this shelf below the one you're seeing, I have a mug full of bookmarks. If you want an updated bookmark tour as well, please let me know in the comments or thumb up the video, because I will definitely do another one. I have one graphic novel on this shelf, which is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and then we have some poetry ones. We have The Princess Saves Herself in this one by Amanda Lovelace, Southern Hair Flowers and Milk and Honey, both by Rupi Kaur, and finally The Weight of the Water by Sarah Crossan. In terms of knickknacks, we have some pop vinyls on here, including Beth from Rick and Morty and Amy Winehouse as well. Look at her, she's so beautiful. Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, Geekerella by Ashley Poston, Slay by Kim Karan, We Are All Made of Molecules by Susan Nielsen, The Understudy by David Nichols, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Daisy Jones and the Six, both by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay, When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi, Unfiltered, No Shame, No Regrets, Just Me by Lily Collins, Staying Strong, 365 Days a Year by Demi Lovato, Doing It by Hannah Witten, and Secrets for the Mad by Dodie. The Truth About Keeping Secrets by Savannah Brown, On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher, Princess in Practice and Undercover Princess, both by Connie Glynn, All That She Can See and When the Curtain Falls, both by Carrie Hope Fletcher as well. And this one has no dust jacket, but finally, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. There was my bookshelf tour. I really hope that you liked it. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe. I make videos on this channel every single Tuesday-ish for bookish content. I will see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!
You've got a face for a smile, you know. A shame you're wasted when you're breaking me slowly. But I've got a word